Hi everybody, Martyn the Flicking Feathers again today. I'm tying another really old fashioned loch fly. This is the worm fly. Now obviously you look at it, it's no, it doesn't represent a worm. I'm not sure what it does represent or what fish eat it for, but they do eat it. It can be very effective when it's there actually. Now as always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anyone who wants to support the channel, get access to the giveaways as well as any online content that we do. Alternatively, like the video, share the video, watch it all the way to the end, and definitely leave comments below. All of that helps the channel to grow. Right, so I've got my hook and my vise. I'm using for this the Stealth Nymph Special, right? It's the non-reflective black, right? It's a very slick hook, it's like a Teflon coating. This is a size 8, right? So originally these would have been tied as basically 2 red tags. They would have been on, say, like 2 size 12s or 2 size 10s tied together. But I mean, that's, if you're catch and release, that's not really ideal. And I mean, people did kind of, even before folk were probably catching and releasing, people moved on to like a longshank version. And I don't know, there's different versions that you see. I basically like to tie mine with it as if it was the 2 flies, but you will sometimes see the longshank version with only the single, but I read at the back. Up to yourself. So first thing is I've run on some black 80 Uni, and I've just sort of did it the back half so that I've got a marker, right, for myself, and I'm going to catch in my tail, or my tag I suppose, which is red wool. It's just fluorescent red. Obviously if you're going to put bright red in a fly, make sure it's fluorescent. There's no point in having a red that goes dull when you're under the water. Let's brush that out a wee bit. For my rib, I'm putting in some small oval gold. Now, some folk will say you don't rib this, other people will say you do. I like the rib on it, right? It makes the fly a bit more durable for one thing, but also it gives you that wee bit of glint, the gold, which I think can be attractive, you know. So now some Peacock herl, just 3 herls. Come along, snap away the weak bits, tie this in again, tying at the length of the back fly. Right, and I've left the shank bare there just for my eyesight, or for my proportions. As a sort of marker, you can, I mean, you can just coat the whole thing if you like, but I find this fairly helpful. Now I'm going to put a wee bit of cement in, not much. Just get that in the top. This just, again, sort of helps with the durability. Just move that about, let it kind of soak in a wee bit. I don't want a lot of it sitting on the surface, I want it to soak into the base there. And then I'm going to wind my Peacock here. Obviously it's the weak fibre, so it's coming the opposite direction to everything else, so that it gets counter wrapped by the rib. Come up, cross your thread onto the shank, trim away the waste. And at this stage, now that I've got my size, I'll just come up so that anything else that I'm tying on is onto a bed of thread, especially on this hook, it being so slick. I mean, that slickness so helps the hook go in, right? They're very look, they penetrate very well on the hook set. So just come up this as you would any other fly, right? So you'll be like 4 or 5, gets you up. And I'm just going to run this up my side. And take it away. Again, I don't want a big bump or anything. And now I'm going to tie in my next bit of wool. A wee tag here. That'll do. And I've seen this done different ways. Some folk tie the hackle, then put the tag on top. I like to sort of put it on before the first hackle. Just, I think it helps the fly sort of flow together a bit better. About the same length, so coming back maybe just less than half of that body, something like that. That's fine. You can brush it out if you want, right? I mean, it'll open up when you're fishing. We've got a red game hen hackle here. Lengthwise, I want a fairly big hackle in this, a decent size. But it's up to yourself. If you prefer a slightly shorter hackle, by all means, do that. Tie it shorter. Just catch this off. 2 or 3 wraps down. Fold that tip back. And that's never seen, so I'll just leave it. And I'm going to double the hackle as I wind it. I'm going to use up all the hackle. I want a right good hackle. As I say, I've got no idea. I've got no idea what a trout eats this for, right? What it thinks it is. I'm just going to go back there. I accidentally popped my thread out the bobbin holder, and I just put a wee bit of slack in. So just go back, do that again. That's fine. Come on, bend that across, nice and tight. I'll trim away the waist. I can just leave that the length of the body. I'll come back and I like to open the hackle out to knock any twist out and then just sweep it back again. And I'll come back to my oval gold. Catch that at the length of the body. Just going to run that up. And then, same again. 3 bits of Peacock herl. I mean, if you were really anal and wanted to try to have them as close as possible to the same size, you'd maybe go to 2 here just to compensate slightly for the wee bit extra bulk there, but I don't bother. It's not really an amount of bulk worth talking about. And then I'll just do the same thing. A wee amount of head cement. We spread it. And I mean, obviously as I'm spreading it, I'm making the layer a bit thinner, but I'm giving it a wee bit of time to sort of soak in. And then it's just a case of coming up again. And you're just basically doing the same thing, right? You're tying the front red tag, because that's all it is, it's 2 red tags. When you've got to where you want to be, come up, obviously you're crossing, you're going the opposite way, so one on the thread, one on the material, one on the hook. That locks that in and stops the thread trying to creep back up the spiral of the material. Trim away the waste, and then see, I've trapped a hackle fibre. Free that. That's it. And then same again. yeah, so I'm getting about 4.5 there really, which is ideal. As I say, if you don't want the rib, don't put the rib in. You don't need to tell me, you don't need to be in it, come and tell me that the worm fly doesn't have a rib. Right, there's all different versions. And then it's just like the same thing again, a red game hen hackle. You can also use black. I've seen guys tying it, I mean, years ago in the 1990s and maybe even before. Black hackle, red tag, black hackle, green tag was popular as well. Sort of VY, I suppose. I mean, maybe that's a bit closer to the sort of case caddis. Anyway, so I'm just, same again, quite a big hackle I like on it. If you want a weird one, put a weird one on, and you could go really big if you want it. Just got to use up as much of this hackle as I can. Get a good hackle on there. Fold it back, tie over it, and snap that away, and just build a wee neat head. And whip finish, and your worm fly is done. Just come in and varnish the head. Make sure it's all coated. Clear the eye, and there you go. Pointer top dropper, rocky shorelines, and a good wave, especially dark water. For some reason they like to eat it, so if you've never seen it or you've never tried it, I would encourage you to tie some up and give them a go. Tight lines, guys. Bye.